Our lives are amazing. We only live once, and just go do something crazy, and you never know what will come out of it.
Let me love you.
Right.
Like, as a woman, you deserve to be loved the right way.
And you just hold on like, okay, God, take me wherever.
Never wanted to go to a dark place, never wanted to be about trauma, none of that. Like, there's plenty of that out there.
Welcome back to the latest episode of BET Talks. I'm your host, Miabelle, and joining us today are two incredible forces on a new cinematic journey. Now, she is a radiant, multi-talented star, and he is a visionary producer with culture-shifting films, okay? Here to celebrate You, Me, and Tuscany is Halle Bailey and Mr. Will Packer. Make some noise, y'all.
What's happening?
How are you guys doing?
Great.
Amazing.
Today.
It's good to be here.
Thank you so much. You guys look great. And when I tell you, You, Me, and Tuscany got me feeling real lovey-dovey inside.
Nice.
I love it, okay?
Nice.
All right, now we're gonna kick this off with a game. It's titled This or That. I'll give you one to pick. You tell me which is yours and why.
Okay.
Cool with it?
Go, let's try.
Okay. Friends to lovers or enemies to lovers? Ladies first.
I love enemies to lovers. I don't know, something about the passion, the arc. I feel like it's fire.
Okay, I like that answer. What about you?
I'm with Halle B on that one.
Okay.
Enemies and lover, it's more interesting.
Yeah.
Friends and lover, I feel like you gotta have like boundaries, you know?
Okay.
Keep friends friends.
Right.
But when you're an enemy, there's already something that's hot and spicy about the
Yeah.
dynamic, and then just sometimes a little quick flip and it turns into something smoldering.
Okay. Who is the bigger red flag in a relationship? The hopeless romantic or the I'm just chilling type?
Yeah.
The I'm just chilling type is a huge red flag.
Yeah?
Right?
Yeah, because they chilling with about 7, 8 people. Just,
Yes.
Okay, that's what that
Yes.
means.
They chilling with everybody.
All right, so I'm gonna stop using that line. Okay. Now,
Oh, you were using that line?
sometimes.
Oh.
What?
Oh.
He's like, I'm just chilling.
I know. I'm the problem.
Oh, man.
Just saying.
All right, now this one is cute date in the city or fall in love on vacation.
Oh, I love fall in love on vacation.
Yeah. That's the one you going with?
Backdrop is exotic. What happens on vacation, it's like different rules, no rules.
They usually say that's when you know for sure whether or not you want to be with somebody because things get a little different outside of the country, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, like you went on vacation with.
Right.
See, I
didn't go on.
I thought you was just over there. I thought it was like you married because you know how you be outside, because you be chilling with everybody.
Right, I stopped all
I
that.
thought
I
you were
promise.
out there in Jamaica and then you met somebody and it went down. You're saying you went on vacation with that person.
To find out whether.
Oh, I see. So Halle,
They're
you
a
still
good
say the
match.
same? You think it's
Yes, a vacation, I feel like you can really get to know somebody. Yeah.
I feel like you should have known him before you went on the trip.
Well.
No, that's just, maybe I'm just biased because I probably paid for the trip. So I feel
Yeah,
like
that's a
before-
dad in you.
before I got
Yeah.
the suite, like what we doing? I feel
Yeah.
like we need to understand it.
Okay. Now, we're going to start the argument right now about the greatest black romantic film ever made, in
Oh,
your
wow.
opinion, though.
Well,
Yes.
it's two different generations here, so it's gonna be interesting to see what you say. I'm gonna go Love Jones.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Love Jones. Ted Witcher, the director, shout out to him. Shout out to Lorenz Tate. Shout out to Nia Long. It was a classic. For my generation, like that was one of the first times we saw black love on screen expressed so clearly and succinctly, and it was in a way that we had not seen ourselves. You had the poetry backdrop, Chicago. He was on a motorcycle with leather jackets. Like it just had a vibe and a style. I'm gonna give it a Love Jones.
That is a great one. However,
Okay.
Poetic Justice
Oh.
is one of my all-time favorites. I'm sorry, it was just something about them together. Woo, it was amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, out of those two, which one do you think had the culture in more of a chokehold? Can't stop thinking about it.
I'm gonna go with Halle because you had Tupac and Janet.
Right.
Like, I mean,
That's
come
why,
on.
yeah.
Literally, you had global superstars.
Yeah.
So at the time, it was such a big deal. Pac was just like on fire.
Yeah.
Janet was Janet's always been Janet. So it was two icons together. I give it to.
Of course.
Yep.
And that's who we see dressed up the most as for Halloween.
Hello.
Yes, yes.
Poetic Justice. All right, now when it comes to the 90s and 2000s, what do you think about that era is what made it just so classic? Because we still talk about these films till today.
I tell you what's interesting. It really was a golden era of black rom-coms.
Right.
And it was driven by audiences. And Halle and I talk about this now with our movie because like the dream is to start to relaunch a new generation generation of romantic comedies. But you're talking about Brown Sugar, you're talking about Think Like a Man, you're talking about Best Man, you're talking about Two Can Play That Game, The Brothers, The Wood.
Many.
And audiences were showing up, going to theaters and having a good time. And we were just seeing like Black unapologetic love and joy on screen.
Right.
And you know, obviously I know a lot of those filmmakers. I made Think Like a Man. Like it was just a time where you felt like audiences wanted to see it. They were craving that idyllic picture of what love could be.
Right.
And so I missed that a little bit.
Of course. And like Black love stories, it just means so much to us to be able to see that depicted on the big screen. And you know, it hits really hard when it's done right. What about You, Me, and Tuscany do you feel like is gonna resonate the most? Because we love to see Black love.
Man, I think there's so many things about You, Me, and Tuscany that's gonna resonate with people. But I'll just say what resonated with me the most when I first read the script. I was really inspired by Anna's character because she was resilient. And I feel like sometimes as a young woman in this industry, there's a lot going on. Sometimes you just love to see somebody on screen be vulnerable, figure it out, not have it all together. And I love that you found pieces of yourself in her where you're like, I can do this too. Maybe my life is a little bit of a mess, but I'm gonna figure it out some way. And also the adventure, the love of it all, the beauty and the romanticness of it all. It was just perfect, all of it together.
You can eat, pray, and love me, baby.
And I think things that I want people to take away the most is to dare to dream, to go do the impulsive thing, to take that flight, whether or not you think like, oh, maybe I should wait till next year to do this trip. Like, our lives are amazing. We only live once, and just go do something crazy, and you never know what will come out of it.
Of course. Outside of the love aspect between like, you know, intimate relationships and whatnot, I feel like there's such a huge self-discovery for Anna in the film too, and doing that solo travel and going to Tuscany. You really romanticized Italy, of course, and just made us want to go. So what was your thought process when it comes to You, Me, and Tuscany, and why Halle?
You know what? It had to be aspirational, first off, just talking about the backdrop. It needed to be a place that you dreamed of going. You know what I'm saying? Like, you, me, and Mississippi just don't have the same ring. No hate. There's some good people at Jackson and Tupelo. However, when you think about like taking a trip, a journey, Halle's absolutely right. Getting outside your comfort zone, right? Taking a chance, a leap of faith. You gotta go far away. And Tuscany is a place that people hear about, know about, but a lot of us haven't been. And so we wanted to show the food. We wanted to show the vineyards, the vistas, the backdrop. All of that was like an additional character in the movie. So it needed to be aspirational and a dream in that way. And then when you talk about like who was gonna play Anna, there was only one person who could play Anna. I'm just gonna tell you. And it was always Halle Bailey. First of all, I love the Bailey girls. I made a movie with Chloe. This is my first movie with Halle. We sat down, I remember we sat in a cafe and I talked to her about the movie, and there was just such an effervescence and ease about her that I was like, if Anna has half the charm and gravitas that she has in real life, this movie's gonna work. It's going to bang. And sure enough, you can see it on the screen.
She's marrying Matteo.
Yes! I'm marrying Matteo!
Congratulazioni!
Anna is Halle to me, or what we would imagine you to be like. You give us a little bit of feisty, but still sweet, moving in your own accord, which I love. Now, what was the best part of filming?
There were so many amazing parts about filming. Just being in Tuscany, because we were in Rome for the first couple of weeks, and that was amazing because we got to work at the iconic Cinecittà film studios where so many iconic movies were made. Whenever you work at studios like that, you feel like a certain energy in the air and you're like, oh, stars have been here before, like this is a good omen for our movie. But Tuscany was out of this world, and I have spent some time in Italy before, like in Sardinia. I filmed all of the beach scenes of Mermaid in Sardinia, Italy. And I've spent some time in Milan, but I've never been to Tuscany, which is the countryside. And it's like just fields and fields that go for days, and warm weather and hot springs. And I found like cute little hikes and found this little hippie commune. It was like so cool just to discover all of the places in Tuscany. And waking up every day, it didn't feel like you were working at all. It literally felt like we were on vacation and they were just filming it for us.
I love it. Now, in the beginning too, you also feel as though this is going to go the interracial route, you know? And we don't find out until later later that there may be another love interest. Now, what was your ideal in that?
We wanted it to be real. That's what it was, right? And so this movie honestly could have been characters of any race or ethnicity.
Right.
Because it's a universal story. This is a young woman in New York. Her life is not going the way she wants it to go. She's experienced loss, and now she's, in a position where she's taking some chances, and she runs into a handsome dude at the bar. The dude happens to be Italian. Now, I love the fact that our lead character happens to be Halle Bailey and have the POV of somebody that looks like her.
Right.
We don't see enough of that. She meets this handsome guy at the bar. She isn't really, honestly, even thinking about him. She's a mess. I mean, to tell you, she's thinking, you know what, he's got an empty villa, and I've always wanted to go to Italy. And she ends up going there with not a dime to her name and just taking a chance, getting outside of her comfort zone. And then there, as things happen in Rom-Com, things happen that are fortuitous for her.
Right.
And she ends up meeting this handsome cousin, who also happens to be the incredible Reggae Jean Page, who actually, in the movie, he's a Brit who lives in Italy.
Right.
So we've got an American black girl, we've got a hot Italian guy she meets at the bar, and then we've got this Brit expat who's living in Italy. And then in the middle of that, you have this really passionate, spicy Italian family that is loud and over the top and doing all the things. And so you got a really interesting cultural mix. All of that definitely is by design because I wanted it to be like the real world.
Right.
I wanted it to feel like a world and feel like an international movie.
Now, when it comes to black rom-coms, or rom-coms in general, because we can't put a race on it, because like you said, it's a melting pot of flavor. Would you say chemistry matters the most, the soundtrack, or the line everybody remembers and repeats? Because there is a part for me, per se, after seeing the movie.
First of all three. I don't know if there's a trick question, but the answer is D, all the above. You gotta have the chemistry.
Of course.
It starts with the chemistry. You definitely have to have the song. Every great romantic comedy has a song that undergirds, that embodies what it's about. And for us, that's Mario. Shout out to Mario. He let us use a song, and not only does it fit the theme of the movie, but it's also saying, let me love you.
Right.
Like, as a woman, you deserve to be loved the right way. So I think that's perfect. And then you always hope to have a line, a memorable line. You never know what it's gonna be when you're making the movie, but you always hope to have something that sticks with audiences and that they remember when they leave the theater.
Of course.
All are important.
Yes, you're right. What was that memorable line for you, Halle?
There's a line that Reggae says he says it in Italian, so I can't say it, but it's so romantic. No spoilers, but I guess it's a spoiler. At the end, when they're in the sprinkler. I love that line in the film. To answer your question from before, I think the music is so important. The music and the chemistry. If it's good in the movie, it makes the movie.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What do you feel like you learned about yourself while shooting and becoming Anna?
Ooh, I think I learned that Halle could be a little bit stronger, a little bit braver, just like Anna. The projects that I am excited to do, I feel like I can learn something from whatever character it is that I'm playing. And I feel like I learned a lot from Anna in the making of this film. And I hope that I've adopted some of her bravery, some of her honesty, some of her just unapologetic self.
Right.
It was her through and through, and I'm holding on to those pieces of her, I think.
And I love that it also isn't super male-driven in a sense where it's just all about the man and the man and the man. It really is about self-discovery too, and really being able to push yourself to do something that you've always dreamed of doing. So what about that part of the script where you and Reggae, Michael, are both kind of going back and forth with your past and kind of toggling with where you might want to take it in the future? What did that do for you?
It did a lot for me. I think it was really beautiful that we were able to see that vulnerability on screen, especially in Anna's character. You know, she is dealing with trauma and grief and losing her mom and hiding, kind of putting away her passions and putting her life and herself and her needs on hold and just kind of lost. And I think it was really beautiful because throughout the film you find her finding her way back to herself. Right. And the love is just like the cherry on top, you know? You meet Reggae's character and he helps pull those things out of her that she knows was deep within her already. And I think that she does the same for him, where they're just enhancing one another and helping pull the best out of one another. But at the end of the day, they both have things that they love and they care about and they're passionate about. Yeah, it's really beautiful to see that come together.
I love that. Now, Will Packer, did you discover anything new while this film was being shot, even after everything? Did you have to jump in and say, I might want to change something here because you're getting a new vision while things were actually taking place?
Oh, that's every movie.
Yeah?
Every movie.
Okay.
As a producer, your job is to facilitate allowing your incredible talent, which includes, of course, Halle, Reggae, and our director, Kat Coro, and also our supporting cast, our crew. My job is to make sure that everybody can be as creative as possible.
Right.
Because this is a collaborative medium. I don't care who you are, how talented you are, how big a name you have, nobody makes movies, TV shows by themselves. It is a true team effort.
Yeah.
So my job is to make sure that the team feels comfortable enough to bring something new. Sometimes it's not even on the page. In the best version, your talent lifts up what's on the page. But really, you want them to find things that aren't even there, and that happened throughout this project. It was Halle bringing flavors of herself to her character, the same with Reggae. It was Kat improvising, it was me throwing in suggestions. Like, this was a true collaborative process, and at the end of the day, it's a movie that we're all proud of because we all gave of ourselves to create this thing.
What did you give the most of personally to this film?
My creative instincts is always about the audience.
Okay.
I am always first thinking about the audience that I'm making the content for.
You
Me?
and Tuscany.
I have daughters that are Halle's age, and we talked about that, and they've never had a movie where they got to see themselves as the love interest, as the protagonist, as the lead, the person that the movie is centered around going on an escapade. And so for me, it was really important, number one, that the journey was authentic, that everything about Halle's character, from the way she walked, talked, lived, and dressed, was authentic and would relate to daughters like mine. And also that it remained aspirational and hopeful and joyful throughout the movie. Never wanted to go to a dark place, never wanted to be about trauma, none of that. Like, there's plenty of that out there. We're living that in the world, right? I wanted this to be a true escape, and I wanted it to be escapism. So that's the thing that I was focused on.
I love that answer. Halle, was there any challenges in filming this or any ways that you had to stretch yourself that was like, whoo, this is hard, but I'm gonna get through it?
Yeah, well, I brought my baby out there.
Oh my God.
So it was a very special time with us both out there together. You're a working mom, you're like trying to do so much. Like, okay, I have this lunch, I'm gonna just cuddle him during my lunch and then go back. And I think it was just keeping that energy, that resilience, that heartbeat, knowing that my baby's here, but I gotta go to work and I'm gonna come back. And I think that was a beautiful journey of figuring out the balance and having the help around me, which was so special. And it was so funny because Will, they would let him come in after we filmed and we're done for the day. So I have like a whole reel of bloopers with him.
Okay.
He was in the Maserati, and he was in a bunch of other scenes, and it was just so funny. Like, he loved the whole thing.
I'm sure
My favorite scene in the movie didn't make it in the movie.
Was he in it?
When Halle is driving the Maserati, you gotta see the movie because she is whipping this Maserati through the Italian countryside, right?
Yep, I saw
Part
it.
of that we shot on a stage.
Okay.
And so you got like basically a big green screen, and so the background's moving really fast, and so after we got it done, there was a shot where it's Halle and she's driving 90 miles an hour and Halo's hanging out the window.
Oh my.
Halo, you gonna die. What are you doing? Halo, somebody get the baby. What is happening? Halo is there. He doesn't care. He's having so much fun. And it really is funny because when it cuts together, it looks like he is hanging out the window, going 90 miles an hour. Let me tell you something. Halo gets an honorable mention as a cast member in this movie because he was, there's no such thing as a perfect child, but he was so good, like all things considered, because it's so hard to do what she has to do, right? She's literally in this character the whole time. It was almost like he understood and got the drill.
Yeah.
He was like, okay, mama needs support,
He's
so
like, okay.
I'm not gonna cry right now. I'm gonna let her have it.
Yeah.
Then when she gets upset, I'm gonna need to let her know I need my snacks.
Of course.
He would like wait, do it at the right time. He never ruined a take. It was like everybody loved him. Like, he was good. We gotta get Halo back to Tuscany because he was at home out there.
So he's invited back to set.
Yes.
Very good. You can take him to work.
Yeah.
What did you find out about love when it comes to filming this? For yourself, really?
Love for myself?
Yes, for yourself and in future relationships too. What did it teach you? Anything new?
One of the big takeaways is sometimes it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. And getting there, whether it's loop-de-loos or whatever windy road you take, there is such beauty in that journey, and to take it in and hold on to it and just embrace it. I feel like you learn so many things from those moments in your life when it's like just winding and you just hold on like, okay, God, take me wherever, you know?
Yeah.
I would say that. I've just learned to go with the flow.
And surrender.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that. Now, when it comes to movies, I did read a study that said like last year, I believe it was 53% of Americans went to a movie in theaters. And, you know, just the decline of what's taking place of these original traditional forms of media. So what is the main thing that you feel is going to bring people running into those theaters and really pushing You, Me, Tuscany for as long as we can?
What I hope is that people will go for the escapism. When I was growing up, the movies was the thing to do.
Yes.
It was where you went to go and have like a true social communal environment and connect with other people. Now we have social media and we feel like we're connecting all the time, but we're not really connected, you know? And so what I hope is that this movie can harken back to the days when you would go and put your phone down and sit in a dark theater and laugh or enjoy love, and the person to your right might be a stranger, person to the left might be a stranger, but y'all are laughing at the same thing.
Right.
You guys have a moment, you have a bond in that movie theater. That's what I'm hoping for. 1, 2, 3. That is one of the reasons we made it. That is why it's on the big screen. That's why we want people to see it on the big screen, because you deserve that. We deserve that. You know, you deserve to take that journey and escape. Lock off the real world for a little while.
Exactly. Straight to Tuscany, y'all. You, Me, and Tuscany in theaters now. Make sure you go see it. We have Halle Bailey, Will Packer in the building. Oh, I love it. Thank you so much, y'all.
Thanks for having
Thank
us.
you.
Of course.
Yay.
Yes.